Hi guys, so this is part 2 of What If Kamen Rider Cross Z was in RWBY. So let's start. Chapter 2, Duel of Fire. The young experiment opened his eyes, viewing to see the capsule interior. It opened up as nebula gas poured out, causing to gasp fresh air before coughing as the scientists helped him out. Of course, Mother was there as she clapped. Very good, 931. You intaked enough nebula gas to raise it to hazard level 2. You get to eat this month, she said, clapping for him. 931 only growled softly, looking at her with hatred as this was just praise for their experiment. He felt the cuffs on him once more and led out of the chamber room again. Of course, it was just one of many chamber rooms as by passing the others, he heard their shouts or annoyed mutters of the scientists of another failed test subject. The child was pushed as the room was small as many other kids, some being older while others were younger than him. A few drones guarding the doors and some walking around the room to watch the children and young teens. A tray was set in front of 931. He picked up the spoon, seeing the food. He took a bite to allow himself to satisfy the hunger he felt. The child grumbled irritably. No matter what they do, all the bad people do is only to groom them into the weapons for them. 931? One subject whispered to him, making him turn his head. Are you okay? No. I hate it. Me too. Me 3. A few others agreed quietly. They jumped when a baton hits one of their trays, no thanks to the drone. Feeding ends in 10 minutes. Proceed with consuming before time limit ends before it continued its movements. Don't look down on us. 931 growled. He grabbed the tray and threw it at the machine. It didn't move as the food slipped off its metal body. It stared before a red light was seen. It grabbed the baton and hit 931's arm. 931 fell to the floor, whimpering as he held his now broken arm. Subject 931, feeding time reduced and to be taken to medical bay. The machine stated. Stupid robot. The young 931 whimpered from the pain, trying to hold back his tears. The robots grabbed 931, picking up the child who kicked his legs. The fellow children watched in fright as 931 saw the doors closed on him. Cody snapped his eyes open, sitting up and breathing heavily. Looking around, he saw that he wasn't in the cursed Faust base and not a child. The teen grasped his head tiredly. It has been a long while since he last had a good sleep. At least with the new job, he is able to live in better conditions. The teen moved off the bed and checked the time. It was the afternoon. Guess I sleep in too much, Cody murmured. At least his job is only at night. He stood up as he made into his shower, cleaning himself off and place on fresh clothes for the day. Once done, he made his way out to the hallway of the back portion of the club, as it held those who will work here a place to stay. He had hoped there could have been someone here, but it was empty. Most likely the rest were out or asleep. With the area empty, Cody decided to head into the bar area to get a better look at it, and for anything he would need to check later, just in case Faust was onto him. The blonde stared at the place. To turn a blind eye to whoever talked about business with Junior. It wasn't like he will do anything. He was ordered to, and the fact he didn't want any sight of a huntsman knowing they never did anything to save him or other kids in the past. They can go to hell for all he cared, at least he was trying his best to fight the smash. Cody pondered for a moment, and figured a nice stroll for now would help him. He knew that being in public wouldn't be the best, but with how everything went that night in the fight against the smash, Faust were already beginning full tests and now looking for him. As long as he doesn't reveal his home at the bar, he should be fine. Crossy called out once he made it outside, and the dragon flew over him. Keep an eye out for any drones or anything that could resemble Faust, okay? I don't want them to know where I live now. The dragon nodded its tiny head before flying off. The blonde sighed tiredly, glad to have a good sleep earlier. When he was resting in the slums, he didn't get much sleep, but now he had a chance. He wondered though, what has changed is he only knew a few things from the texts at the facility. XXX. As the blonde wandered around the city block, he took in the sights around him. While it was like that within the books and text for a city, it was still pretty high-tech too. Several holograms around the area with promotions, the occasional drones for help, and even images of certain weapons and transformations of the said items were shown on it. It was a sight after all. His blue eyes stare at a building in the distance. The supposed prestigious Beacon Academy. The school that teaches future huntsmen and huntresses. What a joke! Please, nothing but fake heroes and pretentious wannabe warriors. Cody frowned in spite. He kicked a nearby can at a poster of Beacon, letting its contents spill onto it as he marched off. They never helped him, nor did they help the others. The only thing that mattered now was to get by and stay away from Faust. So for now, a small rest back at his new home should do, to which he did as he entered the club. And once entering, he glances at the bar area, gaining a small idea. Wonder if Junior will let me have a drink when I get back? Cody pondered. While he was not yet of age, he should be allowed at least one drink or something very light. The teen stared at the bottles on the shelf. The moment he was about to reach for it. What are you doing? Two voices asked. Cody jumped in surprise before he noticed the twins from before. Just was going to have a drink. Is that a problem? He questioned the twins. You're not old enough. Figured you two would say that. He mumbled. Fine. He sighed with defeat, backing away from the shelf. Just be glad it was us. The one in red started. If it was Junior, he would have kicked you out instantly. The one in pale blue concluded. Hard to see him actually being a good role model for younger kids like us. Cody noted. He may be an owner for the bar and a boss, but he does know what it means to teach good lessons to kids like us. Even though he's basically a mafia boss? Cody questioned. Just don't question him as you work for him. Yeah, I get it. Cody mumbled. It wasn't like he enjoyed it, but given his own criminal acts of thievery, what choice does he have? At least here, he isn't hunted down by them. A better place to stay. Good. Now I suggest you either go out, or wait in your room until your shift starts. The one in white added before the twins made their to the back door. And another thing. Yeah? Junior said if you see a girl in yellow, never let her in. Cody raised an eyebrow. I thought the guy allows most people in here. Yes. However, the red twin started. The girl with yellow hair causes too much damage and she is a pain. Fine. I'll make sure no other blonde gets in. He shrugged, only to point to himself to remind them he too was blonde. Very funny. The red twin rolled her eyes. Just don't let her in or duke it out with her within the bar. Did she really cause that much damage? He questioned. Twice. Cody cringed. Yikes. Yeah. So if you somehow do, take it somewhere not within the area of the bar. The white twin warned. Hi. He responded, only for them to look at him confused. Sorry, it's something I overheard during my time growing up. He faintly remembered hearing someone say that in that hellhole. It meant fine. Someone who acted too casual in a place like Faust. Who would be like that in that cursed place? It befuddled him. Just don't start speaking in dead tongues. The red twin said, before they walked off, leaving him there. XXX. Cody once more was outside as he still had a lot of time before his shift. It started to make him more annoyed that he couldn't just relax within the bar interior, but instead of arguing he just decided to go along with it. So for now, he went to the park for his relaxation as that seemed more peaceful than the town and streets. He looked at the sky, seeing the clouds. It was something like this that made him feel better. He doesn't have to constantly see the metal ceilings like in Faust. The clean air, no Faust guardian bots, just simple freedom. He felt a small poke as he looked to see Cross next to him, as he reached over to scratch its head. The dragon was making sure he was alright as the gesture responded gave it, its answer. It's just, still kind of feels like some dream. I'm still believing I'm going to wake up in a hazard chamber with those monsters looking at me with grins. He responded, as it was still a fear within his thoughts, that everything was fake and he'd be in Faust's grip again. I just don't want to go back and relive the nightmares again. But his peace was interrupted as a small argument was going on. He turned his head to see a few Atlas people harassing what looked to be a middle-aged man with glasses and a hat. On the ground was some smash cups and a stand nearby that was selling some coffee. You call this coffee? Old-timer, you need to get out of here with this crap. The Atlas male warned, as the two others began to trash his stand. Cody frowned as the teen stood up from the bench. Hey! He called out to them. Leave the guy alone. Buzz off, kid. The blonde scowled, his hands clenched. He was reminded of how much he couldn't do back when he was stuck in Faust. How he was a coward back then. Now, he wasn't and willing to do what is the right call. And so, the blonde threw the first punch, knocking the person out. Hey! Why you little? The other two Atlas citizens hissed as they charged at the teen, also ready to throw down. Cody simply dodged the first punch before blocking the oncoming one in hand. He twisted it, causing the attack to yelp in pain before being flung into the other one, knocking them both down. I suggest you leave, otherwise it'll be more than a simple twist of the wrist. He threatened them, his eyes glaring down at them all. Why you'll pay for this, brat? The Atlas citizen growled, as they picked up their unconscious friend and left the park. The teen sighed softly, as he looked to the man as he walked over and helped him up. You alright? He asked. Yeah, thanks. The man brushed the dust off his work apron. Sorry you were dealt with that. He said to apologize for the rude people. It's fine. The man waved off. No skin off my back and they're just missing out. People can be grouchy. But they trashed your stand, you're living. Cody said, confused as to why he is brushing it off so easily. Bah, I can get it working again. This is just a stand, my shop is what keeps it going. Your shop? So you run a cafe? The man raised his finger. Correct you are. You have a name, Boya? Cody is my name. And? Boya? What's that? Means boy in an old tongue. Oh. Cody realized. Wait, you too? Eh? Cody stopped himself for a moment, realizing the man was confused. Well, I once heard someone speak old tongue. I thought it was just, old language. It can be. But some of us find it meaningful to keep it around. The male said, as he smiled, say, how about I treat you to a free drink? As a way to repay for your help. Really? You don't mind if I try some? Cody requested. Sure thing. The man happily obliged and managed to make some coffee, and when he did, the man handed it to the blonde. The blonde took a sip and immediately froze. So? Good, huh? Cody gave his best smile and a weak thumb up. Hey, what's that over there? Ha! The man looked behind him, allowing Cody to quickly spit the coffee into the cup and into the trash can. His tongue already tortured by the horrible taste of coffee. Weird-looking bird, the man said before turning back to the blonde. Hey, anyways, it was different to say the least. He said, trying to pull off a normal look from the bad taste. I appreciate it, Boya. What's your name, sir? Ah, Soichi. Soichi Crimson. That's my name. It's nice to meet you then, Mr. Crimson. He responded. Hope those guys don't return and give you more trouble. Ah, it'll be fine. Besides, you probably should head home. It's getting darker, and kids like you need to rest for school. Soichi said. I don't go to school or that academy. Cody responded, a soft sour tone laced in his voice. Soichi blinked before he shrugged. Well, take my advice and don't get yourself in trouble. Noted and thanks. The teen suddenly heard his watch ring. Oh crap. I gotta go. It was nice meeting you, Mr. Crimson. The blonde waved and ran as fast as possible. Hee hee, likewise kid. Ciao. Soichi said with a soft grin. Everything was coming into place for the plan. Triple X. Cody ran as fast as he could, as he had to go through rooftop to reach the bar in time. He was so far out, he didn't realize that he could be late to this shift. Even having to take a few rides on top of some vehicles to make it there. He had to be there as he promised. Seeing the club, he double-checked his watch and saw that he had a few minutes to spare, much to his relief. He landed on his feet before entering the building, already noticing they were setting up for opening hour. There you are. Was worried you forgot or were being lazy. Junior said with some relief. Get clocked in and stay at the entrance. You know your job. Right, guard against any person who tries to ruin the ongoing activities, look the other way whenever you do your real business, and make sure a girl in yellow isn't allowed in. He said, repeating of what he knew. Good. And if she doesn't comply? You can use force. Junior said, just make sure to keep it away from the bar. She already ruined this place twice in the past. Damn Blondie. Yup. It definitely sounds like his boss hated the girl. From the sound of it, she previously ruined the place, which wasn't good for business, criminal and leisure-wise. Now that he realized, if the girl continued to ruin the place, he himself would find himself fired and out of the job. Now that was something he didn't want to happen. This job was his only way to lay low from Faust, and he didn't even know if he could get another chance like this again. He was handed his uniform that consisted of the black suit and red tie like the others as he placed it on and went to the entrance of the club. Once out there, he sees the line for customers and who either were accepted or rejected. And for those who tried to fight, he would intervene as he would literally throw them into a dumpster nearby, soon making those who watched stay in silent or fully compliant if they were rejected. But once in a while, some try and he would deal with it, but it was becoming very boring. He knew nightclubs lasted the night, but he never thought it would be the entire night. Ugh, such a slog. Cody complained in his head. He checked the time on his watch and grumbled. This was seriously going to take forever. Not that he wanted to complain, but it was part of the job and had to deal with it. His eyes briefly noticed someone trying to sneak in. Hold up. He stopped the person. He immediately noticed the long blonde hair. Person being a girl? Check. Having blonde hair? Check. The person before him was that girl his boss mentioned. The girl in question, of course, had wild, long blonde hair with lilac eyes. The girl wore a tan jacket that bears her midriff, with golden brown piping and short, puffy sleeves with black cuffs that feature 2 gold buttons, as it shone she had a strong bust size for being around the same age as him. Underneath this, she wears a low-cut yellow crop top with her emblem on the left breast in black. She also wears a brown belt covered by a pleated brown piece of material reaching from hip to hip around the back of her waist, with her emblem emblazoned on the rightmost pleat in gold. Underneath this is a long, white, asymmetrical piece of material reaching to her knee on the right side, as well as a pair of black mini shorts. She wears a pair of brown, knee-high boots and orange over-the-knee socks, with the right sock pushed down just below the knee. A gray bandana is tied around her left knee. An orange infinity scarf and black fingerless gloves complete her outfit. You can't come in, lady. You're banned. Cody denied access to the blonde girl. Oh, come on. Why can't I? I was told you ruined his business twice. If I let you in, I would lose my only job and be blaming you for it. Come on, this is the only place that sells my favorite drink. She frowned. Are you even old enough to drink? You're a teenager. Cody stated. As are you. She countered. The male blonde felt his eyebrow twitch. Either way, the answer is no. Now leave before I toss you in the garbage like the others. He said, pointing to the dumpster nearby as two people were helping one out of it, as they were covered in filth. And that's only my last warning. Please let me in? I know I can make it something worth ya. She said, batting her eyes as she tried to play off her charm. Cody crossed his arms and said with a straight face, no. She sighed, you're a tough one. Most of these fools fall for that with ease. She said, as the two glanced at some nearby co-workers who lowered their heads in shame. Well, if I can't go easy, might as well try the hard way. She said as she began to stretch, though, you might just want to forget it, nobody here has been able to beat or stop me. The fellow blonde rolled his eyes. He did recall Junior telling him to take the fight elsewhere. If you want to fight to get in, fine. But let's go into a more open area. I don't want you to break anything that'll cost me this job. Cody requested. This surprised the blondette. Wow, didn't expect Junior's goons to have a code. She stated. I'm more than just a goon, not. Cody said, gesturing for her to follow. Once they were away from the perimeter of the club, Cody sighed. Look, I am only doing this so I won't lose the job or get myself in trouble for letting you in. So, I got no choice. He snapped his fingers, calling the small metal dragon that fluttered around him. I apologize in advance, but I'm going to have to knock you down. The fellow blonde's brow curved up with curiosity and confusion. Really? Heck, well, I do need a workout after school today. So why not? She smirked, before striking a position as her bracelet soon morphed and unfolded into large gauntlets. Just don't cry to mommy when I send you packing. Cody rolled his eyes and placed the driver on his waist. He reached in his pocket and presented the dragon full bottle. Shaking it, he twisted the cap as Yang noticed a small burst of fire erupted from it as the metal dragon converted itself and landed in his waiting palm. Ha! The fellow blonde placed the bottle into the dragon. Wake up! He puts the device on the belt, the set item lighting up. Cross Z Dragon. Spinning the handle, metal tubes begins to appear around her until it was filled with color-forming armor. Metal tubings, pipes, and armor part appeared around him. He then clasped his fist into his open hand before striking a pose. Are you ready? Henshin. Wake up burning. In seconds, the two trays of armor collapsed inward, attaching to the team. In moments, another set of armor attached to the BAC, first forming wings before they folded into shoulder pads and another faceplate. Get Cross Z Dragon. Yeah. The Cross Z armor was complete the moment it latched onto his body. The blondette looked surprised and shocked from the sudden change. She thought that having a belt as a weapon was odd, but not expecting armor to come out of it and slap on. Suffice to say, she was actually surprised for once. Didn't expect a toy dragon to give armor out like that. She said to him. Cross Z extended his hand, allowing the sword to appear from the belt and into his palm. Like I said, I'm different than my boss other guys. Yang took caution as they circled before she launched herself towards him. She reared her fist to hit Cody, but the armor augmented his reflexes combined with the nebula gas. He dodged and slammed his knee against her stomach. She coughed, her aura protecting her from having a major bruise. Yang backed up with a few steps as she rubbed her stomach. Okay? More than just armor. She groaned out. Did he even use his aura to deliver such impact? It felt like it was more than that weirdly. She had to be careful. The blonde huntress in training dodged the next attack with the help of her gauntlets and fired a few rounds onto his armor. While it pushed him back, the armor protected him from real harm, something she took notice of. This only meant she needed to get close to hit him, but with his own crazy strength? It would be difficult to even get close to him, meaning she needed to be smarter. Yang soon lunged forward thanks to her gauntlets, but upon getting close, she slammed her fist on the ground, causing her to vault over him as she landed and turned for an uppercut, hitting him as he was launched upward and back from the hit. Cross-Z grunted as she did a good blow on him. But this helped him as he gripped the lever on his sword as he pulled it twice. Hip air. Hip air. Fire and sound built up within the blade as he pulled the trigger on it. Million hit. He soon launched a fireball of sound at her, causing her to block before it exploded and sent her skidding across the ground. Yang quickly realized he had strong attack both close and long range. It was something as some only prioritize one or the other. That was CLO dash. She paused and her eyes dilated when she noticed what was on Cross-Z's sword. On the tip of his sword was a thin yellow strand. What? Why you, little? Yang's hair flared as her lilac eyes angrily turned red. Oh. There was one saying he learned. Hell hath no fury like a woman's scorn. And he just got into that problem, big time. Yang furiously dashed towards Cross-Z, startling him from her sudden fury as she was already up to close to him. He blocked himself from the oncoming attack, as the punch connected, and for once he actually felt it as the power and strength sent him flying into the wall behind him, enough for actual cracks on his forearm and chest were shown. Okay. That hurt. He grunted out from it. What got into you? She angrily pointed at his sword. Cross-Z noticed the yellow strand. Her hair? She got mad because of that? He questioned within his thoughts, but as he looked to her, he realized if he said anything bad about it, another strong hit would come from it. Cross-Z only sighed. Look, I'm sorry about that. Didn't realize it was that important to you. He said, gently plucking the strands off of his blade. Besides, if anything, this is your fault. If you just listened, then this wouldn't have happened. You cut my hair in the first place. She marched towards him, but the drawback of her semblance was taking hold. He dodged to the right and slammed his elbow against her back. And you started this by trying to sneak into a place you've been banned from. He countered and ducked from her punch. Just stay still. She tried to attack him, but he stepped back quickly from each attack she attempted to deliver. However, the moment her powered attack slowed down, he stopped her from attack and pushed her back. The glow in her hair finally dimmed, her red eyes slowly turning back to the lilac color. Look, I don't want to make it worse. Just stay away from my boss bar. Cross-Z advised. Well, I tried one and tried twice. This doesn't mean I get my sunrise? He felt his eyebrow twitch. No. Geez, no need to be so blue. She joked. Seriously? What kind of pun is that? He deadpanned. The best kind. She chuckled. You know, if we just could talk, I'm sure I could help you into Beacon. Your style could be well for a huntsman. Cross-Z scowled. What did you say? Oh, come on. Haven't you heard of the school? Firstly, don't even mention anything of the huntsman. Don't mention anything good about them when they didn't do anything right. He finally snapped. Huntsman this. Huntress that. Beacon being the best school to become one. It is nothing but a stupid dream and they are worthless to save anyone. Yang was taken aback by his outburst. She didn't expect such a response from him, and even more so, one filled with such anger and pain. Get out of my sight and stay away from me and the bar. He harshly shoved her and walked away. Beacon is nothing but false hope for your dreams. What's the big idea? She demanded, but he abruptly looked at her. She swore there was a red glow for a brief moment before changing back. None of your business. Period. He continued his walk, leaving Yang where she was. She stood there as she looked around the area they just fought at, pondering everything that happened as she held her arm softly. He seems hurt. And alone. Something I can understand. She said in her thoughts before she made her decision, I won't give up on him. He needs friends that he can count on. And I won't stop until he's happy. Triple X. Soichi hummed when he watched the fight. He caught the red gleam from Cross E. A sign of progress. He cleaned his glasses to clean the dust due to the debris the wind carried and felt amusement. You are making progress, boya. Just keep on going with it. He soon hopped down from his vantage point as he began to walk back to the shop, just to make things not suspicious for those with prying eyes or ears. As he walked, he noticed some footsteps behind him. He could tell a mugger group from regular criminals as he made his stop. And what do you want with me? He asked, turning around to see the small group of criminals with weapons out and ready. Oh, I'm scared. Soichi hugged his arms in his own form of humor. Just hand us what you got. Oh, but all I have is this little bottle and gun. He said, holding up a black and silver gun, but it was very small, and had a slot back as they saw the cyan blue gleam in the smoke. Cobra! CO Cobra! Fire! You guys might do nicely as the next batch. The alley was soon filled with screams of fear and horror. Only for one to run out, covered in cuts and bruises as he tried to flee, but a tendril shot out, piercing the human skin. Crimson veins began to surge through his body, causing him to groan in agony before turning to ash. Best to make sure there isn't any more witnesses. The figure said, chuckling as the smoke faded. Soichi came out, whistling a tune as he made his way off. The world may have changed, he has seen its colors. The past, and the world's secret that no one but him knows. He had this planned for eons and eons, so now that it finally started and began, he could take advantage of that, and get what he wants out of everything. After all, everything is connected by blood. To be continued.